My beloved child, why do you seek the world's approval when I have already called you worthy? Why do you cling to what fades, when I offer you treasures that never perish? Release the burdens of external validation, the weight of material attachments, and the chains of toxic relationships. Step into the freedom I've prepared for you, where authenticity leads to peace, surrender unlocks my divine plan, and the fear of death is transformed into the promise of eternal life. Come closer to me, and let your inner light grow. In your journey of letting go, you will find not loss, but the fullness of my love. This is not the end, but the beginning of true spiritual awakening. Are you ready to take this sacred step with me? My beloved child, why do you seek the approval of those around you? Do you not know that I created you in love, with a purpose so unique that no other soul can fulfill it? The world's validation is fleeting, a vapor in the wind, here one moment and gone the next. Yet you strive for it, hoping it will fill a void that only my eternal love can satisfy. Listen closely, for this is the truth I wish to reveal to you. The more you rely on the opinions of others, the further you drift from the divine essence of who you truly are. Each time you chase after external applause, you silence my voice within you, the voice that whispers, "You are enough. You are loved. You are mine." Letting go of external validation is not easy. It may feel like stepping into the unknown, a place where your worth is no longer measured by worldly standards. But this is where the miracle happens, where your spirit begins to awaken to its divine nature. When you release the need to please others, you create space for me to work within you. In that surrender, you discover the truth. You were never meant to fit into the mold of this world. You were made for so much more. My child, when you let go of the world's approval, you begin to see yourself as I see you, radiant, worthy, and whole. You stop bending and breaking to meet expectations that were never yours to carry. Instead, you rise, strong and free, rooted in the identity I have given you. This freedom unlocks joy, joy that does not depend on the fleeting opinions of man, but flows from the unshakable foundation of my love. Do you feel that yearning in your heart, the desire to live a life of purpose, peace, and authenticity? That calling is from me. I am inviting you to walk a path where you are no longer enslaved by the fear of rejection or the hunger for approval. This is the path of spiritual growth, where you step into the fullness of who you are, trusting that my plan for you is good and perfect. And oh, the fulfillment you will find. When you align your heart with mine, the burdens you have carried for so long will fall away. You will no longer need the world's applause because you will hear my voice saying, "Well done, my faithful child." You will no longer seek approval because you will know, deep in your soul, that you are already loved beyond measure. The things of this world, though beautiful and seemingly necessary, can often bind you. You strive, you gather, you hold on tightly, believing that security, comfort, and happiness can be found in possessions. Yet deep within, there is a quiet ache, a knowing that no earthly thing can ever truly satisfy the longing of your spirit. That ache is your soul calling you back to what is eternal, to what is true. Child of light, I do not tell you to cast away all material things, for I know you live in a world that requires balance. It is not the presence of possessions, but the attachment to them that dims your spiritual flame. When your heart clings too tightly to what is temporary, it becomes harder to hear the divine whispers of your purpose. When you measure your worth by what you own, you forget the infinite value of who you are. True freedom begins when you shift your perspective. See material things for what they are: tools, not treasures; gifts, not gods. Use them to serve your higher calling, not as anchors that weigh you down. Let your possessions support your journey, not define your identity. Beloved, there is a sacred balance you can achieve. It begins with gratitude, acknowledging what you have as a blessing, not a burden. Then, trust in the divine provision that is always with you. Your needs will be met, not through clinging or striving, but through faith. As you release the fear of lack, you make space for abundance to flow, an abundance that nourishes not just your body but your soul. Do you feel the shift as I speak? The lightness of letting go, the peace of surrender? This is what awaits you when you place your trust not in the fleeting, but in the eternal. When you align your material needs with your spiritual aspirations, you unlock the door to your true purpose. Your heart becomes a vessel for giving and receiving, for sharing and blessing. Know this, beloved: you were never meant to live a life of scarcity or struggle. You are a child of divine abundance, created to walk a path of love, joy, and fulfillment. Let go of what binds you. Trust in the divine flow, and you will find that everything you truly need is already within you. There are bonds in your life that no longer nurture your spirit, ties that weigh heavily upon your soul. These are the marks of a toxic relationship, a connection that dims your light instead of helping it shine. In a relationship meant for your highest good, there is love, respect, and understanding. Yet, when a bond becomes toxic, it drains you, leaving you weary, doubting yourself, and distant from the joy that is your birthright. Do you feel unheard, unseen, or diminished? Do you find yourself walking on eggshells, afraid of how your words or actions might provoke another? These are signs that the connection is no longer aligned with the divine plan for your life. Toxic relationships often come cloaked in false promises of love or loyalty, but their presence steals your peace and obscures your purpose. They sow confusion and fear, making you question your worth, your decisions, and even your dreams. Know this: such a bond is not of the light. It is not what your Creator intended for you. But take heart, dear one, for you are not alone in this struggle. I stand beside you, sword in hand, ready to cut through the chains that hold you captive. Spiritual strength is the key to your freedom. It begins with a simple yet profound realization: you are worthy of love that uplifts, not love that tears down. Call upon me, and I will help you summon the courage to face the truth. Breaking free from a toxic relationship is not easy. It requires bravery, trust, and a deep connection to the divine within you. But it is possible, and it is necessary for your growth. Begin by seeking stillness, a sacred space where you can hear the voice of your soul. Ask yourself, does this relationship bring me closer to my Creator, or does it pull me away? Does it fill me with peace, or does it leave me in turmoil? The answers will guide you. Lean on your spiritual practice, whether it is prayer, meditation, or simply walking in nature. These moments will strengthen your spirit and remind you of the love that surrounds you. Release the fear of loss, for what you lose in the physical will be replaced by something far greater in the spiritual. Know this: you were not created to live in fear, doubt, or sorrow. You were made to soar, to love deeply and freely, and to walk in the light of divine truth. Breaking free from toxicity is not an act of abandonment. It is an act of self-love and alignment with your Creator's will. I come to you with a truth as timeless as your spirit. You were created to shine in the fullness of your divine authenticity. Yet, I see the masks you wear, the roles you play, the weight you carry trying to be what the world expects of you. These burdens are not yours to bear, for they keep you from the freedom of fully trusting in God's perfect plan. To embrace authenticity is to embrace the essence of who you are, the unique soul God breathed into existence. It is to strip away the layers of fear, doubt, and comparison that cloud your spirit and dim your light. Do you not see? Every part of you, even the parts you hesitate to show the world, is divinely crafted. There is no flaw in you that God cannot use for good, no wound too deep for His healing touch. Yet, the journey to authenticity requires surrender, a release of the need to control every outcome. You have spent so much time trying to shape your life to fit into plans of your own making. But dear one, when you surrender control, you do not lose. It is then that you truly begin to live. For surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It is placing your heart, your hopes, and your struggles into the hands of the one who knows you better than you know yourself. Authenticity and surrender walk hand in hand. When you are true to who you are, you no longer feel the need to manipulate circumstances or cling to what is not meant for you. You begin to trust that God's plan is greater than anything you could imagine. It is in this trust that you find peace, for you realize you are not alone in the journey. God is always with you, guiding your steps, even when the path seems uncertain. Child of light, I ask you, what would your life look like if you let go of the fear of judgment, the need to please others, and the desire to control every twist and turn? Imagine the freedom of walking boldly in your truth, knowing that you are held by a love so vast, so unshakable, that nothing can separate you from it. As you embrace authenticity, you align yourself with the flow of divine grace. You no longer strive against the current but allow yourself to be carried by it, trusting that God's timing and wisdom are perfect. The burdens of pretense fall away, and in their place you discover joy, joy that comes from living as the person you were always meant to be. I am here to remind you of this truth. Your authenticity is your strength, and your surrender is your freedom. You do not have to carry the weight of the world, for God's plan is already unfolding, woven with love and purpose. Trust in Him, and trust in the beauty of who you are. Rise now, beloved, in faith and freedom. Be who you are, and let God lead you to where you are meant to be. For many, the thought of life's end casts a shadow of fear. Yet I am here to reveal to you that this shadow is but an illusion. Death is not an end. It is a passage, a sacred doorway through which the soul steps into the eternal embrace of God. Why do you fear what is inevitable, what is woven into the very fabric of existence? It is because the human heart clings to what it knows, to the tangible, the visible, the familiar. Yet in doing so, it overlooks the greater truth, that your spirit is eternal, that life does not cease but transforms. To fear death is to misunderstand the beauty of this transition, and to misunderstand it is to carry an unnecessary burden that robs you of the peace and joy meant for you in this life. Beloved, the fear of death often stems from the unknown, from questions that seem to have no answers. What will happen when my earthly body ceases? Will I be forgotten? Will I truly return to God's presence? These questions weigh heavily, but I tell you now, they need not. For God, in His infinite love, has already written the answers upon your heart. You need only quiet the fears of the mind to hear them. Spirituality is the key to unlocking this sacred understanding. Through faith, prayer, and reflection, You come to see death not as an ending but as a transition, a crossing from one realm of existence to another. Just as the setting sun heralds the dawn of a new day, so too does death mark the beginning of life eternal. Do not fear this transition, for it is nothing more than a return to the source of all love, all peace, all light. Let me take you deeper into this truth. Imagine, for a moment, the seasons of the earth. In the fall, the leaves fall from the trees, returning to the ground. It may seem like an ending, but we know it is a necessary part of the cycle, for from that decay springs new life in the spring. So it is with your soul. Death is not a loss but a renewal, a shedding of the earthly shell so that the spirit may rise in its purest form. To overcome the fear of death is to embrace the eternal nature of your being. You are not your body, nor are you your possessions, achievements, or roles in this life. These are but temporary garments you wear for the journey. Your true self, your spirit, is infinite, untouched by time or decay. When you begin to see yourself as more than this physical form, you will find that the fear of death begins to dissolve. Child, I ask you now, how would your life change if you no longer feared death? Would you live more boldly, love more deeply, and cherish each moment as the gift it truly is? This is the freedom that comes with understanding death as a transition rather than an end. It is the freedom to release the grip of fear and step fully into the light of God's plan for you. Spirituality helps you anchor this truth in your heart. Through prayer, you connect with the divine and feel the assurance of God's eternal presence. Through meditation, you quiet the noise of fear and listen to the whispers of your soul, which knows that death is not to be feared. Through acts of love and service, you align yourself with the eternal, experiencing glimpses of heaven here on earth. Even now, as I speak, your soul recognizes the truth of my words, for it has always known this. The fear of death is not innate, it is learned. It comes from the world, from the illusion that this life is all there is. But I remind you, beloved, that this world is but a chapter in the vast, unending story of your existence. And when the time comes for your spirit to transition, know that you will not walk that path alone. I will be there, as will other angels and the divine presence of God. You will be met with love so profound, so overwhelming, that all fear will melt away. You will step into the light and remember the fullness of who you are, a child of God, eternal and beloved. But do not let thoughts of that day take away from the life you are living now. For every moment you spend on this earth is a gift, an opportunity to grow, to love, to serve, and to prepare your soul for the journey ahead. Live fully, not in fear of the end, but in celebration of the now. For when you live with the awareness of your eternal nature, each day becomes more precious, each breath a prayer, each act a testament to the divine within you. I ask you now to release the fear that weighs upon your heart. Trust in God's plan, trust in His promise of eternal life, and trust in the love that surrounds you always. Let this truth fill you with peace, not just in thoughts of death, but in every challenge you face. For when you know that nothing, not even death, can separate you from God's love, there is no obstacle too great, no sorrow too heavy, no fear too strong. Remember, beloved, that you are never alone. I am with you always, guiding you, protecting you, and reminding you of the eternal light that shines within you. You are loved beyond measure, not for what you do or achieve, but simply for who you are, a radiant soul, a masterpiece of God's creation. So live boldly, love fiercely, and trust deeply. For the end you fear is not an end at all, but a beginning, a return to the divine, where you'll be welcomed with open arms and hear the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." Rise now, child of light, and let the peace of this truth carry you forward. Embrace life, release fear, and walk the path before you with courage and joy, knowing that you are held in the eternal embrace of God's love. The time has come to release the weight of negativity that clouds your heart and dims your spirit. You were not created to live in shadows, but to walk boldly in the light of truth and divine alignment. I am here to guide you toward practical steps that will lead you to a life of authenticity, joy, and spiritual alignment. First, let us begin with the power of awareness. Negativity often takes root unnoticed, growing in the quiet spaces of your thoughts and emotions. Today, I ask you to pause and reflect. What burdens are you carrying that no longer serve your soul? Are there fears, doubts, or resentments that have chained you to the past? To release negativity, you must first recognize its presence. Be gentle with yourself, for this is not a time for judgment, but for clarity and grace. Once you have identified what holds you back, the next step is surrender. I know surrender may feel like loss, but in truth, it is liberation. Bring these burdens to God in prayer. Speak them aloud or whisper them in the silence of your heart. Say, "Father, I release this into your hands. Take what I cannot carry and replace it with your peace." Feel the divine exchange as you let go, making space for love, joy, and light to flow into your being. Beloved, know that your environment matters. Surround yourself with what uplifts your spirit. Seek moments of stillness in nature, where the beauty of creation reflects the beauty within you. Fill your home with words of encouragement, music that stirs your soul, and reminders of God's promises. Step away from influences that drain your energy or pull you toward negativity. Remember, your spirit thrives where peace dwells. To live authentically, you must honor the divine truth of who you are. Stop hiding behind masks or shrinking to fit the expectations of others. Ask yourself, what does my soul long to express? What brings me closer to God's purpose for my life? Begin to align your actions with those answers. Even small steps taken in truth will set your spirit free. Gratitude is a powerful tool in releasing negativity. Each day, take a moment to name the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. It opens your heart to receive more of the goodness that God has already placed in your path. Finally, beloved, remember that this is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when negativity tries to creep back in, but do not be discouraged. Each moment is a new opportunity to choose light over darkness, love over fear, and truth over illusion. I am with you, guiding you, protecting you, and reminding you of your divine worth. You were created for a purpose far greater than you can imagine, and that purpose begins with living as the radiant, authentic soul you were meant to be. Trust in this process, for God's hand is upon you, and His love will never fail you. Rise now, child of light, and take the first step into the life your soul has been longing for. The path is clear, and I walk beside you every step of the way. Amen.